In today's video, we're doing another episode of which brand is faster. Today, we're going to be comparing Mercedes versus Porsche. We got a bunch of awesome cars to test out. Before we get into the video, be sure to comment down below which brand you think is faster, Mercedes or Porsche. I tried to match the cars up the best I could. I think it's going to be a great race, so I hope you guys enjoy the video. And without further ado, let's get into it. Before we get into it, let's take a look at what cars are going to be going up against each other. We have the Challenging GT going up against the Comet SR, the Krieger versus the 811, the Schafter V12 versus the Neon, the Sterling GT versus the Comet Retro Custom, the Feltzer versus the Comet, and finally, the Serrano versus the Comet Safari. Now that we know which cars are going up against each other, we have all of the vehicles lined up on the drag strip, ready to race. It's a quarter-mile race. Comment down below which one you think is going to win, and with that said, let's get into it. Let's take a look at the stats of the first two contenders. The Challenging GT is based off of the Mercedes-AMG GT. It has a 4-liter twin-turbo engine producing 720 horsepower, 900 pound-feet of torque. It's rear-wheel drive, weighs 1,500 kilos, and has a top speed of 125 miles per hour. Going up against the Comet SR, based off of a Porsche GT2 RS, it has a 3.8-liter twin-turbo engine producing 691 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque. Its rear-wheel drive weighs 1,500 kilos and has a top speed of 122 miles per hour. Let's see what happens. That was a really close race, but the Mercedes did beat it out, only by 0.04 seconds, which is pretty crazy, but it now makes the scores 1-0 for Mercedes. Next up, we have the Krieger, based off of a Mercedes-AMG 1. It has a 1.6-liter turbocharged V6 hybrid engine producing 1,021 horsepower. There is no torque record to be found. Its all-wheel drive weighs 1,200 kilograms and has a top speed of 127 miles per hour. Going up against the 811, based off of a Porsche 918, it has an MR6 V8 producing 875 horsepower and 944 pound-feet of torque. Its all-wheel drive weighs 1,600 kilos and has a top speed of 132 miles per hour. Let's see what happens. Now that was a very close race. The Krieger beat out the 811 by 0.02 seconds, which is insane, but it still counts as a W, making the scores 2-0 for Mercedes. Next up to the line, we have the Schafter V12 based off of a Brabus EV12. It has a twin-turbo V12 engine producing 780 horsepower and 1,100 pound-feet of torque. Its rear-wheel drive weighs 1,500 kilograms and has a top speed of 124 miles per hour. Going up against the Neon, based off of a Porsche Taycan, it has an 83.7 kilowatt Turbo S battery producing 750 horsepower and 773 pound-feet of torque. It weighs 2,000 kilograms, it's all-wheel drive, and has a top speed of 114 miles per hour. Let's see what happens. I am not surprised at all that the Neon smoked the Schafter V12. It beat it by 2.34 seconds, which is honestly pretty damn good. It now makes the scores 2-1 for Mercedes. Next up, we have the Sterling GT. It's based off of a Mercedes 300 SL. It has a 3-liter straight-six engine producing 212 horsepower, 203 pound-feet of torque. It weighs 1,300 kilograms, it's rear-wheel drive, and has a top speed of 112 miles per hour. Going up against the Comet Retro Custom, it's based off of a Rawell Porsche 911 930 with a 3.3-liter turbocharged flat-six engine producing 385 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque. It weighs 1,300 kilograms, it's rear-wheel drive, and has a top speed of 121 miles per hour. Let's see what happens. Once again, that was actually a pretty close race. The Porsche beat out the Mercedes by 0.94 seconds, which is pretty close, but you still got to give the dub to the Porsche, which now makes the scores 2-2. They're all tied up. It's a brand new game. I'm really curious to see which brand will take the W in the end. Next up to the line, we have the Pfister, based off of a Mercedes SL65 AMG. It has a 6-liter twin-turbo V12, producing 670 horsepower, 885 pound-feet of torque. It weighs 1,400 kilograms. It's rear-wheel drive and has a top speed of 119 miles per hour. Going up against the Comet, based off of a Porsche 911, it has a 3-liter twin-turbo flat-six engine, producing 433 horsepower, 390 pound-feet of torque. It weighs 1,400 kilograms. It's rear-wheel drive and has a top speed of 119 miles per hour. Let's see what happens. Once again, that was a very close race. The Pfister beat it out by 0.04 seconds, which is insane, but it still counts as a W, making the scores 3-2 for Mercedes. This is Porsche's last chance to redeem themselves for a tie-breaking finale. The final two contenders are going to be the Serrano, based off of the Mercedes SLS AMG Roadster. It has a 6.2-liter V8 engine, producing 583 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. It's rear-wheel drive, weighs 1,600 kilograms, and has a top speed of 121 miles per hour. Going up against the Comet Safari, based off of a Porsche 911 930 Group B. It has a 3.3-liter turbocharged flat-six engine, producing 385 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque. It's all-wheel drive, weighs 1,100 kilograms, has a top speed of 120 miles per hour. This is Porsche's final chance. Let's see what happens. I can't believe it. This has never happened before. The Porsche came through and beat the Serrano by 0.06 seconds, which now makes the scores all tied up at 3. So how are we going to determine which brand is faster? Well, this is what we're going to do. We are going to take all 12 vehicles, put them side by side, and have one massive race. Whichever brand has their 6 vehicles finish first will be crowned the faster brand. It's going to be very intense. I hope you guys enjoy it. This is your last chance to comment which brand you think will win. So with that said, let's get into this tie-breaking finale. Well guys, there you have it. Porsche ended up winning, the final scores being 4-3 for Porsche. If it wasn't for the Sterling GT and the Serrano, Mercedes would have won, but sadly they didn't. Let me know down below in the comment section, are you guys surprised by this outcome, yes or no? And let me know exactly why. Anyways, that is going to wrap up the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see another episode of this, comment down below 2 car brands in GTA 5 that you want to go head to head, and then maybe you'll see that video up in the next couple of weeks. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. By the way, be sure to check out DigiZani. They'll hook you up with tons of discounted games, gaming accessories, discounted gift cards, and in-game currency for dozens of your favorite games. Don't forget to use code FROLICS at checkout for a 10% discount.